Hello friends, welcome. This is part 2 of my impressions of the Outex underwater camera housing that I'm excited to try out. I'm just waiting for some parts for something else to get here before I actually take this thing underwater. But in the meantime, I'm sharing with you what I'm trying to accomplish with it. If you haven't seen the other video, it just talks about what I picked, what I chose. I bought two actual body gloves, one that allows me to trigger my strobes and the other one that's just a straight body glove for either ambient lighting or LED lighting. They look like this, pretty simple. The one that I picked has a port opening in the bottom so I can run a cord through my camera, well, from the camera through the body glove up above ground to trigger my strobes. That is usually how I photograph my subjects, and I want to try to accomplish that now that I have this, because before I would leverage a different type of housing that would use more of a bulkhead cable type of setup, and we'll be using strobes similar to this one, but everything was with a wire. On top of that, I was limited just to the camera that I had, which was my Sony A7RIII, and since then I've used much better cameras with much better autofocus. So the body glove, it's something that I'm really excited to try out, because if it works, I'll be able to not only use the Sony camera that I normally use for my portraits, but if I wanted to, I can use a Sony, a Canon, Nikon, Fuji, whatever I really want. It is designed to be as flexible as you want to be. Okay, here is the plan. The plan is I'm gonna use my transmitter that's gonna be connected to the PC port of my camera. That's gonna send a signal to my strobes up in the water. And those strobes are gonna hit the water and also trigger my underwater strobes. That's what I'm gonna try to do. I'll do it first without the body glove on so you can see kind of how it's gonna work. And then from there, I'll put everything together, put the body glove together, run the cord, test it, and it should work. Once I'm able to find a pool where I'm gonna try these photos out, then you'll be able to see it all together and get some amazing images with me. So hold on tight. Here's what it looks like. In theory, I'll have my camera. I'll be connecting to the PC port of it. It's gonna go underwater to trigger this guy right here. I'll obviously have to secure it, otherwise this sucker's gonna go underwater, and then that's the end of that. That'll trigger my lights. We'll just use a speed light for this example right here. You'll need a lot of light when you're out of the water. And in theory, once I do that, it works. Now, we'll take this guy too. Let's go ahead and turn this guy on. Set it right there. Okay. Now, if I trigger this guy, both of them should be on. Can you see it? I don't think you can see it. I'm gonna blind myself for you wonderful folks. You ready? There you go. It works. Okay, part 2. Now that we tried it here, I'm gonna get the body glove. I'm gonna set everything up the way that I would. Try it again, and if everything works, good to go. This will be my 4th time putting this together. It's a little bit easier each time, but this is what it looks like. You have your body. Here's your front lens. It lines up with whatever many millimeters you have on that particular lens. It goes up to, I believe, a 72 or higher, but I have a 72 and a 67. You can see your camera from behind. And there's that cord in the bottom that I mentioned before. So, like I tried before, let's try it again. If this works, that strobe back there is gonna trigger, so. Awesome. Now, similar to the other one, we're turning on the waterproof light. It works. I don't know if you can see it, but it works. This is great. Okay, now that I got things working, I need to test it. I should advise everybody, it should come to no surprise that do this at your own risk. These are essentially supposed to work, but when you're putting any kind of gear underwater, check your seals, check everything, and know that it could fail. And if it does, there goes your camera. So be cautious. Read all the instructions that the company gives you, whether it's this one or any other housing. But what I'm gonna do next is, number one is find a pool. I need to find a good saltwater pool that I can utilize. Number two, I'm waiting for my Nomad 3 Mini to be delivered. I pre-ordered it earlier this month. It's supposed to be shipping out in July, but that's gonna make my life a whole lot easier so I don't have to carry around a scuba tank and all that fun stuff. But if I do, I do. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I'll do my best to answer the best that I can, or put you in contact with somebody who could answer it. I may do a setup video while I wait for that Nomad 3 Mini, or before I go into the pool, so some of you guys can understand how I set this up, so you know how to properly set it up. But nonetheless, there's a lot of videos out there of people showing you step by step on how to do this. So if I don't get to it, don't let that stop you. Just go ahead and Google Outex underwater housing, and I'm sure you'll find one. Until then, friends, thank you, and until next time.